For my Haftorah portion, I will chant from Ezekiel chapter 44, verses 15 through 20, which can be found in the Chumash on page 1001. The second reading that I'm chanting today is called the Haftorah. The first set of chantings I did was from the Torah, also known to Christians as the Old Testament. The second chanting is from the Book of Prophets, Ezekiel chapter 44. This portion is about the time period after the first temple was destroyed. The Jews have gathered up again, and the laws that connect the Jews to their God are once again being discussed. In this chapter, Ezekiel is discussing the priests. The first thing we learn in this chapter is that the priests, the holiest men of the community, come from the descendants of a man called Zadok. Ezekiel reminds the people that only those priests, the chosen men, can do God's holiest work of being near his sanctuary and making the animal sacrifices. Then he talks about what they should wear and how they should act. Their hair needs to be cut short. Their clothing has to be breathable so they don't sweat. They have to change their clothes before going into the inner holiest areas. They're not allowed to drink wine. They have to follow all the laws and teachings, keep the Sabbath holy, and not come into contact with anything impure like dead bodies. Everyone in the community needs to treat them with respect and honor, bring them food and take care of them, because the only work they are doing is God's work. I think that it is quite interesting that this particular job was created so early on in world history that hasn't changed much since. Rabbi Axler, even though he is not a priest, is a prime example of this type of leader of the community. He performs all the holy duties pertaining to the temple. He cuts his hair short, wears clean clothes, doesn't drink except on Shabbat and on the holiday of Purim, and he follows the laws. He helps people out with their problems and gives them advice. And in return, the community takes good care of him and his family. He is a good example to our community and lives the life that Ezekiel talked about in chapter 44. Once again, the Haftorah portion can be found on page 1001 in the Chumash.
I forgot to mention during your charge, by the way, that it was my favorite Haftorah speech ever, so. So thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nivim tovim v'rotzav v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe abdo u'Yisrael amo B'nei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
V'hakohanim havim b'nei tzadok asher shamru et mishmeret mikdashi b'tot b'nei Yisrael me'alai hema yikruvu elai v'sharteni v'shamru v'fanai l'hakriv li Hey levadam ne'um Adonai Elohim, Hema yavu'u el mikdashi, Vehema yavu'u el shulchani, V'sharteni v'shamru et mishmarti, V'haya bevoam el sha'arei ha'atzer ha'pnimit, Bigdei pishtim yobashu, V'lo ya'aleh alehem semer b'shartem, B'sha'arei ha'atzer ha'pnimit v'vayetam, Parei fishtim you over sham u'mitzei fishtim you al manehem lo yachkiru bayaza u'seitam el ha'atzer ha'hitzonai el ha'atzer ha'hitzonai el ha'am yipsitu et bigdehem asher hema mishartim bam inihu otam v'lishchot ha'kodesh V'lavshu begadim achirim, v'lo yachadshu et ha'am b'vigdehem, Berasham lo yigalehu, ufera lo yishalehu, kisom yichsemu et rashehem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol ha'olamim, tzadik b'chei hadarod, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'oseh, hamdaber u'mekayem, shekol devarav emet v'asedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevim ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, v'shatatan lanu Adonai Eloheinu v'kdusha v'lineha v'chavod u'tifaret. Ahako Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mikorchim otach yitbarach shimcha b'thil chai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. Amen.
Turn back to our Sidurim, our blue prayer books, on page 371. We've asked, having read from Torah and from the Haftarah in this moment of holiness during our service, to offer up a Misha Berach prayer, a prayer for healing, especially a prayer for healing for all those children who are in need of physical healing, for all those children who face tough challenges and are in need of that healing. We say this Misha Berach prayer, though, in honor and in encouragement to all those who are in need of any kind of healing. In the middle of page 371, it's in Hebrew and in English, our Misha Berach prayer that they all know healing speedily.
Mekor habracha la'imotenu, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishebera imotenu,
Mikor habracha
le'avotenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Continue on page 374 of our Sidurim as we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark, at this time calling for the honor of helping to open the Ark, the Litz family grandchildren, Josh, Julie, Sam, and Becky. Once again, we ask for the congregation to please rise. Yehallelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Hodol le'eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kerava. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
God's